Not gonna lie, I love the CRAM. I just had to play that video twice because I love it so much. Hey, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got massive strikes that are taking place across Iran right now as we speak. Expect oil prices after what I show you guys today to definitely skyrocket if they weren't going high enough already. I got a feeling the oil and gas companies are going to use this as an excuse to do it anyways. But over 30, the word is 30 plus, oil refineries, stations, storage tanks, etc. have been struck all across Iran. And it also looked like earlier today that Iran was going to stop firing at its neighbors, but it chose not to. It chose to continue to fire at their neighbors. And because of that, it looks like the UAE has said they entered the war. I did see a video earlier on, can't find it, of them firing a freaking HIMARS outside of Dubai up over into Iran, allegedly as a target. So they're vowing retaliation now. Iran officially made probably like one of the biggest mistakes they ever did. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. I suppose we can talk about that here in just a little bit. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know that today we had the Dignified transfer. Okay, this would be the welcoming home for the 6 U.S. service members who were killed overseas. Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Noah Tatjans, Sergeant First Class Nicole Armour, Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzin. They all came home, and as you can see, you have pretty much the entire command staff that has greeted them over there along the runway at Dover Air Force Base. It's just a sad day when you end up seeing that. And I'm going to be honest, man. Like, I remember back when they were trying to tell us that you know, those images and stuff shouldn't be shown, and that's something that I wholeheartedly agree with, because one of the things that a lot of people don't know as that's going on is that's actually the first time that the family members get to see their service members as well. So for that reason alone, I wanted it to be protected because it was a solid moment with the family members. Over there at Dover Air Force Base, there's actually kind of like a hangar area for the families, and so the officials that end up showing up have a chance to go over and speak with the families. And so I always thought it was kind of weird afterwards that we ended up allowing press and media to go over there. And I get the idea of, you know, needing to have transparency, but it's just something that always just bothered me deep down in my soul. How are you guys doing on this Saturday, man? I hope you guys are ready for this as we go to kick the show off a little bit early, but wanted to make sure we got one in today. Iran, according to Donald Trump, which is being beat to hell, has apologized and surrendered to its Middle East neighbors and promised that it will not shoot at them anymore. That did not age well. The promise was only made because of the relentless U.S. and Israeli attack. They were looking to take over and rule the Middle East. It is the first time that Iran has ever lost in thousands of years to surrounding Middle Eastern countries. They have said, "Thank you, Mr. President." I have said, "You are welcome." Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East. They are instead the loser of the Middle East, and will be for the many decades until they surrender, or more likely completely collapse. Today, Iran will be hit very hard under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death because of Iran's bad behavior. Are areas and groups of people that were not considered for targeting up until this moment in time. Thank you for your attention on this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So that information ended up coming out today. Well, let's see how well that ended up holding up. Maury says, Matt, members only should start with friend for life as an intro. I agree with you. I made the mistake of stating that this was a members only video. It's not a members only video. Everybody can jump in here as we go about it. So let's just go ahead and keep on keeping on here. Down in the stream. Now, next thing that we ended up seeing out of Donald Trump was him stating that the UK, United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's okay, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer, but we will remember, we don't need people that join wars after we've already won. President Donald J. Trump. So me personally, I would have liked to see the Brits get involved just because, I mean, at least they would be dropping bombs and then we wouldn't have to, and so on and so forth. But nope, didn't actually go that way. Well, here you go. Here's the UAE getting hit. It was probably only like 2 hours after Trump ended up making the announcement about Iran promising not to attack anybody that they just started launching drones over in frickin' Dubai. smashed into these freaking hotels and whatever the hell else they could get their hands on. So because of that, Dubai actually ended up coming out and shooting back at them today. They actually declared war, so it's time. Fox McCloud says, looks like all the surrounding Arab countries are working on filling in that power vacuum and possibly growing their territories. I would certainly hope so. I mean, I wouldn't mind, let them go over and freaking take those bastards on. Danny Lyon says, Trump coming out threatening tertiary ass whooping. Yeah, I mean that's basically what he did. Tertiary butt whooping, even after all of this. But the butt whooping really, I don't want to say we took it too far today, because I don't think that there is such a thing as overkill when it comes to warfare. I think anybody that thinks that needs to go get in a war and then figure out what overkill might actually be. I think more violence used up front and used appropriately makes things end a lot quicker. But the idea of having a proportionated response, hell no, that's not the purpose. The purpose of killing people is to have an overwhelming response. I don't care if we blow their bodies to the point where you don't even recognize them anymore, but we should be pushing them back on their ever-loving heels to make them not want to mess with us again. And that's just simply how it's going to be. And this, quite frankly, that's kind of what it looks like that's happening over inside of Iran right now. You guys are going to believe some of the video footage that's actually coming out. Video number one. Here you have your very first oil refinery that's on fire. Now this one, it doesn't look too bad. Now I can go over and I could lay out the different names of all these different refineries, but at the end of the day, when we end up going over and looking at the last one, the last video of these refineries I have on fire for you is actually 360 degrees circling all the way around over inside of Tehran. You can see the entire place just getting lit up like it's nobody's freaking business. Like the amount of bombings that have taken place over the last 12 hours are very, very substantial. Now, this next video is going to have volume, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an ears warning, and it's taken from a lot closer up. It's a very short clip, but this is how intense it is. Again, we're just looking at oil refineries. We're not even looking at like IRGC targets at this point in time. Incog Faraday, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. He in the house. Yo, Oh, and for the comment down there that says, I can't even read, I want you to know, because I'm looking at this screen and I didn't bring my glasses, which I probably should just start wearing and bringing down in here anyway, but I'm like squinting to try to like read them on this screen. I do have them up on another screen that's off camera that you guys can't see, but I mean, it's kind of a danged if I do, danged if I don't situation. Just for kind of how I have everything set up. Maybe I need to set it up for like old man eyes, you know what I mean? Like just so everybody can kind of see it. But check that bad boy out, baby. Yeah. Woo! You guys ready for this?
الو نه ترس هم اینجا خوبه انبار نفت رو زد نه ترس بیا خونه ماما آره نه ترس خداحافظ
نه ترسید از آسانسور هم نیاد
مامان از آسانسور نیا بیا بابام بلند شو بیا
یواش بیا
بلند شو بیا خدا
نه ترسید چی عجب گرمایی داد عجب گرمایی داد
یا خدا
سبین لطفا یه بذار بده من سبین جان یه دقیقه بده من
بی بطه باشه
نه نازی هیچی نیست نازی هیچی واسه
بده من گوشیو
It is. It's my birthday, man. Thank you guys for remembering. It's my birthday today, just like it is every single day. Every day it's Matt's birthday when Iran's on fire. That just makes me smile so deep down within my soul. And I don't care if you call me a neocon or whatever word Tucker Carlson taught you. You're an idiot if that's how you feel. This is a very good thing. Now, while I leave this video up and burning here for a minute, I learned something brand new today, that the UAE is actually responsible for providing the banking system for Iran. So Iran just made a very, very crucial mistake by striking them today. Because if the UAE chooses to cut off their banking systems, it is going to be a massive monetary blow to the world's greatest nation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, the untouchables, where you can't be an Ayatollah for a day without dying. Incog Faraday came in gifting out 20. It just says, big boom, big boom, big boom. Yes, it was a big boom. So, UAE, that is a very big deal. Them entering in the conflict. What that basically signifies, if we end up getting that information that the UAE actually comes out and cuts off their monetary supply, that's going to put Iran in a really, really bad position, because without the monetary supply coming over from the UAE, their ability to rebuild is like slim to none. Like it's where the bulk of their stuff is tied up. That's how they've been going around a bunch of sanctions and everything else. Not saying that, the UAE is sanction dodging for Iran, not accusing them of anything like that. But what I'm absolutely saying is that Iran's going to be SOL here at the end of the day. That's huge. And the fact that we're taking out all of these commodities right now that you're seeing, the oil. And what's funny is people are looking at this and they're going, well, yeah, you're taking out his oil, but doesn't that actually affect the economy? Doesn't that actually hurt the people? What it really affects is the freaking war machine. That's what it affects. It is going to greatly affect the Iranian war machine. Once you shut down those refineries and you blow them to hell, those vehicles, they need oil. Those are legitimate military targets, whether any of the freaking pacifists like it or not. So we ought to be blowing every single one of these things to smithereens. And every day that goes by that we open up a new target on new amounts of infrastructure, it completely and totally degrades their ability to rebuild any further, which is going to put pressure on the regime once they realize that they're not going to be able to rebuild afterwards, especially after their crucial mistake of pissing off the UAE today, now that they entered the war. Yeah, I just read a comment that said, who is wearing their birthday suit in honor of Matt's special day? You want to know what one of the worst things about being a streamer is, and really actually thinking about it? The amount of guys and gals at home that just look at you that might like you, and it doesn't matter if you're ugly, if you're really good looking, etc. That probably do that, and that it's so concerning to me. I think that there's actually people that are watching this. There's probably some of you guys watching this right now in the toilet. Probably some of you guys watching this laying naked in bed. There's probably, just the amount of crap that's probably going on the receiving end of this always gives me the heebie-jeebies when you actually put it into thought. And I really don't want to put it into thought, but I just kind of had to, I guess, for the sake of sake. All right, another video coming at you. Hey, there is some of you guys that take doo-doos while you watch this. I am quite for certain of it, very quite for certain. I love that comment that I just saw from Just Cause. He says, hey man, I'm at the fire department working. Are you just sitting there now, you're probably not creaming yourself over me sitting here on the stream. You're probably creaming yourself at all these freaking fires, being like, if only I could drag a hose and get close to that bad boy. Could put on my mask and run into the blaze and put out fire. I'd squirt my fire hose all over it. I could see you doing that. You guys are all the same. You're all the same. Check out this view right here. Look at that bad boy on fire. I'm telling you guys, everywhere in the skyline over inside of Iran right now is completely and totally lit up. It's out of control. Old man Weiss. So what are we actually hitting? Just suspected target or ammo depots and launch sites? So we have been going after launch sites. We have been going after their factories that produce the drones, that produce the ballistic missiles. But it seems like the campaign today, the main focus of the campaign, at least in the last couple hours, has been taking out all of their petroleum production facilities and their reserve facilities, their holding tanks, etc. That is why everything appears to be on fire right now. And that is why I said that you can expect the oil and gas prices just start skyrocketing here because, never pass up a good tragedy to make some money in the oil and gas industry. Blue collar colonizer, what about to dump? Now I feel, was about to dump. Now you feel guilty. Don't feel guilty, man. That's what, if listen, if my voice relaxes your colon, and your anus and your sphincter, and you're able to just have one of the best ones of your life because you're paying attention to war footage, like, go for it, bro. Like, do you? No pun intended. You know what I mean? All right, so here's some more of it that we got up. This is just another view. I believe this one's from Tehran. Prepper says, don't worry, Matt. We all give you one for the team. Heck yeah, man. We'll all give you one for the team. Well, I'm always taking one for the team, apparently. So, yeah, I don't mind at all. Look at that one, though. Woo! That is one hell of a fire. Again, we're talking about the petroleum holding facilities that are over there, the production facilities, all of that, man, on fire. Somebody's saying, oh my God, WTF am I watching? You are watching Speak the Truth, sir. We are heavily covering on conflicts. You have a bunch of veterans in here, ran by a veteran itself. And so every now and then somebody will make a comment. I'll see a comment. I will respond to said comment. And then sometimes it might turn to discussions about poo while we're watching war footage. It's just the way it goes. I was explaining to everybody how some of you are sitting at home right now as I speak, out of the over 2,000 of you watching this stream, that are likely taking a dump while you watch it. And while some of you might not admit it, we have had people in the chat that have openly admitted it. So that's what you walked in on, my friend. That's what you walked in on. Oh, that's good. Troy's let me know that him and his wife are both fully clothed in the TV room like decent human beings. Woo! We got some good folks in the house, ladies and gentlemen. We got some good folks in the house. Well, while you might not have, a fireplace up on your wall, maybe this will keep you and your wife warm. Grab a blanket, roll up next to it, get cozy, because here's some more Iranian oil refineries on fire.
چیکار داره میکنه پشمام نزدیک پالایشگاه شهرده امروز شنبه یادم رفت 14-15 اسفند چند اسفند زد نابود کرد ساعت 10 شب دقیقا شهرده.
It also makes me smile that now I know I have a happy couple at home curled up on the couch with the TV on and a blanket, just watching the world burn. It's like, oh, America. Oh, what a great time we live in as we continue to go about this. You guys always make me smile. All right. So again, like I said, you got about 30 major oil refineries that are on fire right now. Zach Hudson says, Matt, how do you think China is feeling about the oil infrastructure being taken out in Iran? I think they're shaking in their pants, to be perfectly honest with you. That is a solid question. I think China is very, very upset about this. Upwards of 40% of Chinese oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and a huge supplier of them happens to be Iran. And so with the Strait of Hormuz, we still have traffic. We could pull up maritime traffic right now and show you. There's still traffic that's moving, but it's not what it normally is. And if China is being restricted now on oil coming out of Iran, I also want to remind you that they're also being restricted on oil coming out of Venezuela. That is going to put a huge strain on the Chinese economy. And this goes back, and I really appreciate this question. It's like, Zach, it's like you wanted to get me on a roll. This goes back to what I said about how Russia and China are tied into this, and their support mechanism happens to be Iran. Iran supplying the oil, Iran supplying the munitions, China supplying, material support to Russia to fund their war machine and keep that sucker moving. Obviously, they're charging for it. But if Russia doesn't have oil, guess what? Then all of a sudden their production capabilities are cut back. And when their production capabilities are cut back, that means the Russian war machine slows down. And when the Russian war machine slows down, ooh, that's bad. Now, when you start talking about like the financing leg being cut out from underneath Russia and the financing leg being cut out from underneath the IRGC, we got a whole other set of problems on hand. And so now my next point that I'm looking for is Russia and China getting pissed off. I told you guys before we went to Venezuela, as soon as Venezuela pops off, you better believe we're going to have to start worrying about Iran. And then Iran pops off. Now I'm telling you guys, how this thing turns out is going to depend on how pissed off Russia and China get because of all of that backside story. Don't get caught off guard. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You guys are going to need it. Eagles fan Clark says China has stopped harassing Taiwan reportedly. Yeah, you probably know why. because what we're showing up on the screen right here is actual leverage. This is leverage. Believe it or not, when you talk about like the global geopolitical strategic implications, this is leverage against Iran, and this is leverage against China, and this is leverage against Russia. That's just how it goes. And so if, China decide they're going to back off Taiwan, this is probably why. Fox McCloud says the great monitoring the situation will continue. Ah, yes. Continue to monitor the situation at home on your johns in your bed. Snuggle up next to your wife as we continue to roll through these videos. Mike Merrill. Yo, Matt, thanks for being hilarious and spreading straight facts. No printer. Oh, you and the children. I love the White House media and their posts recently. I'm not going to lie. I don't care for a lot of it, what the White House puts out. And I feel like their press conferences are kind of turning into like a propaganda machine. Like I want facts. I don't want to hear if they don't do this, then we're going to decimate them even further. No, I want to hear today we knocked out this, we knocked out this, we knocked out this. If they do not comply, we will knock out this, we will knock out this, we will knock out this. If that doesn't work, you know what I mean? Like that's what I want to hear. Old Man Y says, we did take strikes during prayer. Savage. Yeah, we did the strikes during prayer time. Of course we did. Why would we not? War doesn't wait for Islamic prayer time. It's just the way it goes. M4 Kron, what's your thoughts on Trump talking about taking over Cuba? I think he's bolstering. To be honest with you, I think he's just kind of like puffing his chest out. I know Cuba's a pain in our butt, but I don't think we want to deal with Cuba like that. I think economically would be the best way to deal with Cuba in the meantime. Mr. Guy, cost gas to harass. That is why they quit playing chicken. Yeah, I would think so. The amount of fuel is kind of where it's at. Oil, believe it or not, has a lot of strategic implications. We're going to be going over this. Stuff squash. Did you hear about the bomb threat made on the Southwest flight Nashville to Fort Lauderdale last night? It diverted into Atlanta. The guy looked Middle Eastern. Yes, I did hear about that flight. It did divert mid-flight, landed over in Atlanta. Atlanta SWAT ended up hitting the airplane. No shots were fired. Everybody had their heads down and their hands up. Looks like the guy was actually sitting in his seat. And from what I heard or what I read, if I remember correct, it was like it wasn't like I'm going to bomb the plane. It was like a slight that he was going to blow the plane up. And so they diverted anyways, just for that very reason. And that's why he remained in his seat. And then they ended up hitting it. Scott Chassel says, just appreciate your coverage over the last few years. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Tom Bones, cousin thinks that what Trump is doing in Iran is deplorable and evil just to take people's attention away from the Epstein files. So I made a joke back when this whole thing first started that maybe, just maybe, Iran had intel on the Epstein files. He had the unredacted Epstein files, and they were threatening to release him, and that is what caused Trump to go to war. I thought I was joking. Turns out there's actually conspiracy theorists out there that believe it. Mighty Spatula, I'm late and haven't caught up. Anyways, pants check. Mighty Spatula, believe it or not, man, I already ran my pants check. It's already been run. Promise you. All right, let's get this sucker rolling. Now, if you guys think that you're going to make me stand up for a pants check, you are dead wrong. I'm calling an end to the pants check era. Far too long we've been playing pants checks games. I'm calling an end to the pants check era. But I do appreciate your donations. Unless you donate like $500, I'm not going to turn down a $500 pants check. It's just, I won't do that. But anyways, here we go.
پنجرمون شبیه صبح شدی. من دم پنجره بودم، پنجرمون شد صبح شد.
Dude, I love that your guys' comments aren't anything about like the absolute scene of destruction, but it's that the guy that's filming is out of shape. Like, you guys are freaking brutal. Incog Faraday tried the wintergreen. Bravo. Pretty good. No, I love the wintergreen, man. That's honestly my fave. Big fan of the wintergreen. Yeah, they're freaking amazing. I absolutely love the wintergreen. Those things are amazing. I love the wintergreen. Yes, sir. All right, moving on to the next video. Let's get that sucker up and execute. Look at the fire. Ooh. Oil refineries, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at oil refineries. We have been burning them down. Somebody says this is like an iPhone 4. Man, you're looking at the Middle East. You're looking at Iran. Like, I don't know what you expect as far as like cell phone technology overside of there. Not to mention, like, the Iranian real has been crashed. Like, their currency has crashed. It's now like $1.5 million to US dollar. Back in December going into January, it was like $1 US dollar to like 600,000. So it just continues to like rise. Nobody's buying cell phones right now, man. Nobody. And if they even did have access to cell phones, I guarantee you that sucker might even say made by Nokia, but maybe in, I don't know, Pakistan. I no idea. But what I do know is that they don't have a lot of money. They've been very, very like upset, very, very poor by all of this. This is a beautiful skyline view. If you're that married couple that had joined in earlier and said that you guys are snuggled up on a blanket, here's another great oil refinery on fire. D-Rock says, I hate you at this point, Matt. Your info is good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you hate me, D-Rock. Thank you. Thank you for hating me. I will pray for you also.
چیکار داره میکنه پشمام نزدیک پالایشگاه شهرقه امروز شنبه یادم رفت 14-15 اسفند چند اسفند زد نابود کرد ساعت 10 شب دقیقا شهرقه.
All right, everybody calm down. Bass Bucks Outdoors decided to invoke the name that should not be mentioned, Tucker Carlson. And he asks, I know you stated your opinion on Tucker Carlson, but in one of his latest videos, he stated how our missile stockpile is basically at an all-time low. What's your take on this? Heck said otherwise. Well, I'd start off with Tucker Carlson and his source on our missile stockpiles here in the United States of America. It'd be really great if he could actually name, who his source is. I think it's a little bit more believable that I probably have a better source than Tucker Carlson when it goes to the defense industry, international stockpiles, and what we actually have. As far as bombs and missile goes, not a concern. Not a concern. We have been stacking them up for freaking days and years, actually. We were producing bombs at a very good rate, and we were continuing to drop them for years over inside of Iraq and Afghanistan. Didn't slow us down one bit, not to mention other places inside Africa and around the world, not to mention all of the bombs that we're producing and arming other countries with. We don't have a problem with that. Not to mention the United States also has strategic stockpiles of certain munitions all the way around the world. So for him to sit back, and in the United States, and if you've never been inside of like a military supply bunker where all of this stuff is stored, it would blow your mind the amount of ammunition the United States has. It would blow your mind. Everybody knows who has you guys know who has like the US's largest, or I'm sorry, the world's largest Air Force, right? Does everybody know who possesses the world's largest Air Force? The United States, right? Now, who possesses the world's second largest Air Force? Anybody? Anybody at all? That would be the United States Navy. So to sit back and pretend like we don't have enough cruise missiles and bombs is probably one of the most retarded takes ever. I don't even know what to tell you about that. Like I don't know why people listen to him. It blows my mind to this day. I get he's entertaining, but he's also like, I know I come off as arrogant sometimes. Like I get that, but it's more or less confidence in what I'm saying. His is just like penis on the forehead, like arrogance. Poonbanger coming in and gifting a Speak the Truth membership. What up there, Poonbanger? J Dog 001. Do you think that this coalition forces will last and join the Abraham Accords after the war? Yes, I actually think that is a big thing that we're looking at getting out of this following the strike, particularly of all the countries that we really want to push back to the Abraham Accords would be Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia originally was doing really good with it, and then they started backing out of it quite a bit. And I think now we're going to start seeing that push to get them back, towards the Abraham Accord. So I do think that that's actually going to come through. That's a good question. And I'm getting a hi from Panama City Beach, Florida. Stay safe, everyone. Heck yeah. Everybody should be staying safe, including your little pooch that you got over there in your thumbnail. Alrighty. Matt forgot the third largest Air Force, United States Marines. Hey, listen, man, there's only so much bragging you do, and then it just sounds really, really mean,
16 اسفند سوهانک انتهای لاله 16 اسفند سوهانک انتهای لاله.
CJ Banksful says, you may not know who I am talking about, but they may need the new Red Adar to put out those fires in the oil fields. Red passed away in 2004. Unfortunately, CJ, I do not know who you're talking about. And it could be a joke or it could be a serious comment. I'm torn on this one. I don't know how to respond respectfully, so I am going to just read your comment and encourage everybody to look into it. All right. Here we have the Sauron Oil Depot. So, little short one, not as good as like the other raging fires that are over there. But this one, you guys ready for this? I want you guys to be ready for this one. Be ready. It's going to play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, execute. What do you guys think? That one's so good, I think we got to play it twice. All right. Chris Coons says, I shouted you out on Timcast. Hopefully they reach out to you, and I hope you have already reached out to them. Best of luck, brother, and look forward to seeing you there. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. I look forward to being there as well. I mean, I've got lots of interviews and stuff like that are coming up in the near future. And oddly enough, I am being requested to go out and do these other interviews. Things like Timcast and all of these other ones. I know you can VTC, but a lot of the time they want you to actually show up. And when we got situations like Iran going on, not necessarily where I want to be at the time, but I'm okay taking maybe a day off a week, fly, as long as I can same day that sucker, day off, fly out, fly back in, good to go, maybe an overnight with back here so I could do a stream the next day. But I really don't want to miss 2 days in a row of work as we have all of this stuff going down. But I'm always there for him, always there. Always there. All right, let's keep them rolling, baby. Let's keep them rolling. All right, this for you guys at home is showing all of the different strikes around the Middle East. And I still want to point out the amount of strikes that have taken place over in Western Iran. Now, this isn't showing, in my opinion, the density of said strikes, right, that are taking place over here in Western Iran up over near the Kurdish territory. But what it is showing is that they have shifted even closer and closer to the Iraqi border. And that's pretty amazing, because what we've seen is targeting of the ports, right? We've seen targeting all the way over here. Not a lot of targeting over in Eastern Iran. Lots of targeting up inside of Tehran itself. But then from there, it's like Tehran due west. And once you start going due west, you're entering in Kurdish territory. We do have fights, airstrikes, fast movers, things like that are taking place up over inside of northern Iraq today. It was reported that U.S. troops were actually in contact with Iranian-backed militias on the ground over there. I did see an Apache earlier this morning when I woke up that was raining some hell down over there, and what sounded like 40 mic being launched, honestly, inside the video as well. So all of that's going on over on the Iraqi side of the border. It looks like they're trying to knock out these Iranian-backed militias on that side of the border. And then, again, just crushing Kurdish territory. So that should tell you that, we've got some stuff that's going to be coming up in the future. I still think that that's the most likely course of action moving forward from here, the moment we start degrading those targets. I want to take you guys real quick over to Israel. I told you guys about Hezbollah and their pain in the butt. And they're still shooting rockets at Israel. Pretty insane, in my opinion, that they still have that many left over time. And it goes to show, right, the amount of funding, backing, like networks, etc., that were over inside of the Middle East, and how, the IRGC was getting these things in, or not the IRGC, Hezbollah was getting these things in for so long. I remember tracking these and showing you guys this, about like a year and a half ago, up over on the map, and I could probably still remember the routes, but I do remember them generally speaking where they were going. So you're looking at cross-border fire over here in that last video in between Israel and Lebanon. But when we had all of the fighting taking place in Syria, you had aircraft and whatnot that was landing all the way up here, Homs and above, and they were bringing these weapons down. Or I'm sorry, they were landing where? Aleppo. They were landing in Aleppo, and then they used their RAT networks and their tunneling networks to basically shoot straight down through Homs, transfer over, going into Damascus, and then start working their way into northern Lebanon right up here. Or they were also working their way down south a little bit, and then jumping over and cutting in, to get their butts over into, over into Lebanon. So they had like some pretty big routes that they were running over there. But yeah, what we were just talking about with all of the bombings and stuff over along this area of Iraq, north of Baghdad, Sulaymaniyah, all of that crap. North of that, around Erbil, Mosul is where we are hearing some of that fighting is taking place up over there. And then you have all of the bombings up over along the border. So we've got that going on as well. And I predict that that is going to go down sometime in the near future. I don't think strategically it's going to work out very well for Iran whatsoever. I understand that this is probably one of the quickest updates that I've given you guys in a really long time. Fox McCloud says, let's send Matt to Israel again. Oh, you want to send me to Israel? So the problem is I'm still working on flights. I have no problem getting on the ground. I'm not going to lie. Probably about 2 weeks ago, I was sitting down and going, I know they're about to get the shit bombed out of them. I just need to book a flight over into Tel Aviv, like a one-way flight, and I'm over there until this thing ends. Like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I could get stuck over there for a very long period of time, but I just need to go over there to cover the ballistic missiles, and all of that other crap. And then I started thinking, okay, well, how am I going to be producing videos and streaming material for you guys as well while I'm over there? And so like I had this like back and forth, but I still reached out and I said, I am looking at coming back in. I want, like, you know what I'm saying? And all that crap. And unfortunately the war kicked off by the time I reached out. It was just too late when it actually went down. Yvonne, Matt, I'm sitting on my couch. Well, good. That's what I need to do. That's what I want to do after I take a shower. I want to go sit on my couch. Well, actually, no, what I want to do is I want to eat and I want to go to the gym. I want to go crush weights today. That's what I'm going to do as long as nothing bigger comes out. Russia's going to be pissed. Make no mistake about it. And I think we'll start hearing more and more coming out from them as well. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bid you adieu on this Saturday afternoon. If something big comes out, I will be back here this evening, but I wanted to give you an update, show you guys that Iran's on fire. All right, that all of their oil fields are currently burning to the ground. Yeah, and that's how it's going. That's how it's going. It's going good. It's going real good. It's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, happiness, and God bless. I am out of here.
پالایشگاه ارتش اینجا نوبانیاتو زدن اینجا هم که پالایشگاه شهرداری
Nailed it, Abby.
اون برم که پالایشگاه شهردار پالایشگاه ارتش اینجا هم نوبانیاتو زدن اینجا هم که پالایشگاه شهرداری اون برم که